God. Welcome, everybody, from a traditional martial arts perspective, where we break down high profile fights. And, oh my God. If you did not just see the knockout of the year, the comeback of the decade from Leon Edwards to become champion, when you're down and you're losing,
congratulations, sir. You are the welterweight champion.
when you're down and you're losing, everybody has counted you out. I counted this dude out.
Thank you to the UFC for giving the opportunity to be so fake. Thank you. It was an honor to call your fight.
Amazing. He is so happy. He is so happy. You know what? I will never forget this moment. I will never forget this moment. This guy just went down in history. This guy, and you know what? You know what I love about the KO? You know what I love about it? It's the fact that, of course he is. You know what I love about it? It's the fact that it was just like a movie. Just listen. They playing the Rocky theme. Look at that. Boom. Perfect. Perfect. You know what I love about it? Is it wasn't about power. It wasn't about just biting down on your mouthpiece. It wasn't just about just rushing forward. Yeah, it's a Rocky thing, but you should see their faces. It wasn't about any of that. Leon Edwards used crisp, perfect striking technique, as Joe Rogan just said. Perfect. Set it up.
Kamaru lean to the right. Perfect head kick. Out cold.
Yes. Joe Rogan just took the words right out of my mouth. Perfect technique. He didn't, no. The highest striking is using your mind in a firefight. Yeah, seriously. He faked, and you see it. He was back. Boom, fake. Use the hand. Now, Kamaru, I'm not saying is a bad striker, right? But like they were saying in the telecast, the color commentary, there are levels. There are levels to wrestling. There are levels to striking. Every fight starts on the feet. Every single fight. Fake left. Use the same hand, the same side. And then bang, made him lean. He noticed that when he was throwing the left side, Kamaru likes to lean like this. And it's so simple. It wasn't anything crazy. It wasn't anything hard to do. The basics. It was all about the basics. The basics, the basics, the basics, the basics, the basics. The basics about using your mind. The basics of faking. The basics of non-telegraph. The basics of being just one step ahead. That's all it takes. Just one step ahead. And you know what, man? I'm so happy for this dude. And this is so inspiring. Getting your ass beat the whole time. Everybody counted you out. Hell, I even counted him out.
But look, Leon's got to get some respect. How do you get respect? If you get respect, the guy starts to do this. Or they start to do that by, stop, where's Usman? Where's Usman going? See that? Because even though I said he won't stop, he's like, 2.5 minutes left, 2 minutes left. He starts to go back a little bit. He's not advancing. So now Edwards sees pause.
Look at that. Just this.
This right here.
Just that.
Tells Kamaru Usman
This, that.
his head
It's
off
very
the
simple.
line. Unfortunately, your head is moving into the high kick.
It's not about power. You use, when they talk about Kungfu, use your enemy's energy against them. He used his energy going here and there, and it's so simple. It's so simple, and that's what I love about this moment. And this should be a lesson for all of you, right? You don't have to do anything crazy to be good. What makes the Kungfu really good are the basics. Right? Sometimes we can get lost in the sauce of all these new techniques, and all these new arts, and all these different training styles. It's about the basics that take you further than anybody else. Take you further when you are. I don't want to get copyrighted here. It takes you when you're in the fire, because when you are so good at the basics, you don't have to think about it. That's a basic setup, right? Kamaru took his foot off the gas for one moment. Let's look at the other side of this. Kamaru took his foot off the gas for a moment, and that should be also a lesson for all of you, that if you're going to start strong, you got to finish strong, right? And people got on Mayweather for this when he knew he won fights. Everybody was like, oh, go finish him, Floyd, and all this stuff. Like, look, anything could happen in a fight. Anything. Right? And you got to respect your opponent. Just because you got him down doesn't mean you got to mow him down. But if you're going to back away, do so intelligently. Right? Protect your gates. Right? And so, it's not about trying to go for the kill when you're up. This is about keeping them honest, right? Kamaru, I'm not saying he wasn't, but at that moment, it's like you don't need to do anything big, right? He's desperate, right? And you're in his world. You got to take him down or clinch him or something, right? I mean, it's all 2020 hindsight, man. But the thing that I want to get across is, like, if you're gonna take your foot off of the throttle, right? Make sure you're an autopilot and you're still keeping shit going, right? Because it literally takes only one time, man, and you saw that right there, right? But man, he is so, man, he gonna celebrate tonight. He got to go to the club. Oh man, he about to get as drunk as probably he never got as drunk before in his life. He probably think he can fly right now. I know I would be. About him, man. This is so inspiring. So that's why we always got to keep trying, man. And they were saying stuff in the color commentary, everything that he should do, and come with respect and think about I love about. And right before that kick happened, you know what I said to myself? I like Leon's composure, right? Even though he was down, you never really saw him panic. He always stayed calm and cool. Cooler heads usually prevail, right? And he never quit. I don't think he was expecting for it to be a knockout. I do think he was expecting it to land, rather than a knockout. And I love how Leon automatically went straight to Dana, shook his hand. It was just like, yes, sir. Right? Oh, I'm so happy for this guy. Y'all, don't y'all ever give up. ever. Don't ever give up. Even they were saying, he should, go out on his shield and at least leave. It was 1 minute left. 1 minute. 1 minute left. And down to the wire. Everybody's counting you out. It's amazing. It's amazing how a basic concept can take you so far, right? And Leon was tired too, and it's great. It was just a do. The thing to make that work, for those who want to know, is, and not only is it a simple fake, right? A fake that leads you into a kick, right? But there's a lot of other stuff going on there too. It's not the fact that he hid, he used one arm to move, used one side of the body to move the other, right? When you do that, there's a few things that happen when you do that. Number one, and I'll show you from this side, right? Number one, he did this, right? And this right here not only gives the appearance of a fake, you can do about 4 things just by going like this. The first thing you can do is time him, right? Time the beat. A person moves a certain way, where you feel like there's an opening in your attack, just make a little twitch like that. That's the first thing this twitch does. Number 2, you get a feel for the beginning of the power generation, right? For the attack that you want to throw. Leon obviously saw that he wanted to, he could land this. So he timed it by going like this, or he could have timed it. He also timed his power generation by doing that, right? And then, right? And also, you can fake an opponent out, because now he's looking at the leg, this part. And you see he didn't overdo it when Leon did it, right? He didn't keep doing like this. He just did one, and then he automatically threw the hand out there. And he must have saw that Kamaru liked to bob and weave when you do that. And the thing with bobbing and weaving is you can't expose your jaw when you do that. That's why when you see Mike bobbing and weaving, he always protected the jaw, protected the vital spot, right? And he did it with speed. You can't go like this slow, even if you have your guards up, because the momentum can still hit you because you're going into it if you get faked out, right? So, number 2, the hand. After the leg, after the hip twitch. Now, obviously you can throw it as a punch, right? You can use it as a blunder. You can use it as a directive, right? To make opponent shift away, which I think he did, and Leon did, right? You go like this. Also, well, did I say hit? Yeah, but also you can use it as a post, and this is what Mayweather liked to do a lot when he threw that hand out there, right? Right, when a person's like this, you can put their hand on them and keep them on one side, right? Or you can intercept his guard, right, and keep his neck in a certain place, so he's easier to control. Floyd did that a lot to get off the ropes. Okay, so this right here. Now, pause right here. Right, there's a few things that you can do when you have this open. What Leon decided to do is, obviously, he could help you pull your leg, right? It can help you pull your leg. But not only that, right? It hides your kick, right? Because right here, and then bam, just like that. You barely see it if I'm on. If I'm on, let me get this chair out the way. If I'm on the same line, you don't even see it because it's hiding behind this line. If you can see it right there. Right? But also another thing that you can do with it is you can pull your opponent's guard down, especially if they're moving into you or they're throwing a punch when the arm is not contracted anymore. Right? So you can do that as well. Person throwing like a jab or a right or something, you just pull it down, bam, just like that, right? What Leon decided to do was use it as a blinder, a fake, and a directive. He knew it would get his attention. That's called, a blinder, right? Play with the person's intention. He also used it as a directive. He made him go to the side because he knew that was a habit of his, right? And he also used it as to line them up, like boom, right? There's some boxers that love to do that, right? So he lined, but instead of lining up the right hand, he lined it for the kick, right on target, right? And a lot of hakafis, well, not a lot of hakafis. I heard that Bak Bang loves to do that, right? They used to like to use one hand to line it up, and it's just right there, right? So that way, it's not an invisible bridge that you got to kind of pick out the air. You line it up, bam, bam, stuff like that, right? So, and then bam, perfect. And all, I already said it helps you for power generation as well, So don't, you don't want to just do it blindly though. And this is what separates good strikers from the great ones, right? You set it up, and to set it up in the heat of battle, you got to have awareness and a cool mind. You don't want to just be throwing shit because you feel it, because it's an impulse. People say, oh, you don't think. Well, I mean, like, they didn't say not be aware. He's not thinking about that. He's being aware, and he's taking in data of his awareness. He's not thinking about it. So there's a balance between thinking and responding to your awareness. That's different. Because it's something you're not planning to do it unless, he might have been planning that, but it's like when you say if you did want to, he saw that he'd want to set that up, right? And this is the difference between not thinking and being aware. Say if you worked on that all training camp, right? Okay. How you do it depends on the opponent you want to do it against, right? Because the moment and you're going to land, the person's position is always going to be different. There are different factors that go into it. So you got to be aware of, and that person may have changed that, may have hit something. They're in a training camp too, so you got to be aware and assess the situation. And then let your training take over. It's almost like being in a 1-2 step with your intuition. That's the difference between thinking, right, and being aware, when you're in the heat of battle. And the balance that you have to have, and the speed, and the flexibility of the hips. You just saw all of his training combined in that beautiful KO. And to still have the will to pull that off. When all the chips are down, literally everybody's counting you out. The announcer even said, like, you got to show something. You can't go out like this just by quitting, right? That's amazing, man. That is really amazing. And it's so crazy that Anderson Silva's record, I think, was about to be broken. I guess it just wasn't the appropriate time for that. Oh man, I am so happy for this guy. You have no idea at all. So make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe, and I hope you enjoy from a traditional martial artist perspective.